In a prior video, you saw me do a flyover of project scorecards, what they are, when to use them, how you can use them. However, in that video, I didn't actually fill out the scorecard. Today, we're going to do that, and I will share my screen so we can walk through that together. So in this case, let's name our project Release New App. And you can, I'm going to be super generic with my examples here. So you can, hopefully your app actually has a name and you can put something more than just new app, for example. In the workstream owner section, I'm going to use our executive sponsor, whose name might be someone like Taylor. I'll list myself as the primary lead, as like a product manager. And then I'll list my product marketing manager, let's say Rachel, as my secondary point of contact. And we are creating this today, which is August 27th. Oops. And then let's restate the purpose of why we are releasing a new app in the first place. And that way, anybody who's going through maybe a deck of these scorecards or just seeing this for the first time has an idea of what the purpose is that we're trying to accomplish here. In this case, we are trying to release our new app to a new market by the end of Q3. So we are being concise yet specific and setting some parameters like end of Q3, specifically targeting new markets. And this likely aligns to a strategic business goal that we've set. Next, let's pan over to our action plan here and set some milestones. The first of which might be something like complete the development of the new app. And in this case, the owner is going to be my engineering manager. Let's call them Bob. And the original date might be the end of August. So we'll use August 31st. And there's no revised date there. And let's say that's currently going well. And so we'll call it green for our RAG status. The next major milestone that we want to complete might be something like creating a go-to-market plan. And Rachel's going to be in charge of that as my PMM. And she gets a little bit more time. Actually, let's see. If we're saying the end of Q3, let's actually call this July 31st. She gets a bit more time. She's supposed to be done mid-August. And that's TPD. Let's leave her at Amber, and we'll come back to maybe why we chose to do that. And then the last thing here is going to be like a no decision here. Maybe our steering committee will be a part of that. Our executive sponsor will certainly want to make that call. And they're going to do that by the end of the quarter, or let's say a couple weeks before the end of the quarter. So 9/7, let's say. So we're going to leave a little bit of wiggle room there just in case something goes over in terms of timing. We still have a little wiggle room there. Oops, excuse me. That wouldn't be the end of Q3, would be the end of July, August, September. So end of September. So yeah, we can put 9/7. And since that's not started, we'll use a not started there, and then we can just delete this final row. Now I realize that this is super generic, 3 high-level milestones. You can be as brief as you want, depending on your type of project or initiative, or you can really be exhaustive and really build out this list. In our case, let's do a blend of both, and we'll add a couple more kind of subtasks that build up to these milestones. A good way to do that here is I'll insert another row, and in the step column, we'll do 1.1, and that'll help folks understand that the subsequent rows must be complete in order for the primary parent task to be complete, parent milestone. And let's say we're splitting the development work into 2 cycles. You could also call these sprints. And in the first cycle, we need to ship the web component. and our tech lead for the team, Joey, is responsible. They need to have that done by, let's say, uh, the beginning of, or it's our cycle's 2 weeks, let's say. So they're going to be done by mid-July, and that was actually completed. So awesome, awesome work, Joey. We're going to mark that as complete. And then we're going to add one more to the development process below, insert row below. And that's going to be a secondary cycle for shipping the mobile component. And Joey, as our tech lead, is going to be responsible for that. And that's not going to ship until the end of the month. But that's actually running behind. Oh, let's fix that formatting over there. And so this might actually get delayed to 15th. And we're going to call that red, actually. Okay. And now because we're running red here or even amber in the go-to-market plan, we're going to want to call that out in our key messages and our risks and issues down here below. We might also want to change some of our bubbles at the top to correspond. Before I go doing that, let's add a couple more tasks to the go-to-market plan as well, just to really fully build out this list of milestones in our action plan. And so let's say as part of this, the marketing team needs to pick some launch cities. Maybe we want to be we have a budgetary constraint that our support teams can't support a nationwide release. Maybe we don't want to run AdWords. Um, so there's some constraints there why we're not going to go national. We're just going to pick, like, let's say 2 launch sites. So we want to call that out. And she's going to do that by the beginning of the month, beginning of August. And that's going well. So we'll mark that as green. But what's not going well is insert one above. Oops. The reason why the overall second milestone of creating go-to-market plan is we have to create some training. And that training is actually what's giving us our amber status on the parent task. And that's Rachel again. And she has until 15, and that is at jeopardy, right? We're running amber. It's not actually fully realized yet, but that's in jeopardy. The reason why the training is at jeopardy is our sales support and success, that S3 department is having trouble with deciding on a new training program, right? They have a department-wide training system where we can record videos and curriculum to train all our sales teams and support teams on how to sell and support our new features and new apps as we go live. And a decision hasn't been made. They haven't rolled it out yet. So there's kind of a cross-departmental concern there. So we're going to run Amber that, hey, we want to highlight this risk. It's not necessarily directly pertains to the release of our new app, but it's something we want to shed some light on. So if an executive sponsor is reviewing a deck of project scorecards like this one, or only has a few moments, they can quickly see some rainbow colors here to know that, hey, maybe something's not exactly as it seems or is not going as well as it should. And they're going to look to the key messages and risk section to better understand maybe what's going on with the status of the project, what is driving a status other than green. And so we want to first call out, hey, from looking from top down, we have a complete there. We ship to web. So we completed our first cycle. Let's acknowledge the good in all of this. And we're going to be specific here and factual. So we're going to say we completed our first cycle. That's great. And that feature is hidden behind a feature flag. So it's promoted to production. It's ready to go. It's queued up, and we can release that flag at any point and be in production released to our users. But that shipping to mobile is a bit of an issue because the API that's connects the front end to the back end to build some of this stuff requires a library upgrade before cycle 2 can start. And that's really holding us up. Maybe we need to do some refactoring there. And that's causing that red status, that delay there. And that's just having a huge effect, right? So if we look back at this red guy here, the original start date, original date when we were expecting to ship our mobile was the end of July. Now it's the mid August. As we look up to the parent task, that's way off. So we're going to revise this date to match. So we're telling that whole story as you continue to peel back the layers of the onion. That red there's also probably the parent task shouldn't be green either. So we're going to modify that to match. So it's telling a better story there. Just like in our go-to-market plan here, we have an amber status that's rolling up to an amber here, but the overall score for or overall RAG status for creating our go-to-market plan is a mixture of green and amber. So depending on the art and science and how specific you want to play this out, maybe this is an amber trending green. Maybe we can call that out in our key accomplishments as well, as that we're in decisions anticipated in the following week. This is really just overly precautious, not a big deal. This will be green next week at our next team meeting. And then we are, because our second milestone is currently underway in progress, we're going to add a message here about how Rachel is reviewing the potential launch cities. In next steps, we're going to say Rachel to present a short list of launch cities in our next steerco. And that steerco is scheduled for, let's say, the beginning of September. In the risk here, we have a API library upgrade. We'll just delete the issue. And then an open decision is determine launch cities. Perfect. So before we close out here, we want to say that I do have another spot here for program name. And here we can call it as part of our major initiative is to go after mid-market companies. And this new app gives us that new market and that builds that bridge to that mid-market segment we haven't captured previously. We also probably want to change some of these overall RAG statuses. So maybe the overall score here is not actually green. It's red because that library upgrade is actually kind of a real pain. So I really want to call some attention out to this. And then in our issue section, we're going to run this as amber, and schedule is now a bit delayed here. I'm not going to mark it completely as red yet, because we do have that bit of cushion here built in to September here before the end of September. So if we were running in jeopardy of not hitting the end of Q3, then I would want to mark this as red. But right now there's an opportunity to turn the corner and still complete on time. So we're just going to run that as amber for the time being. So now we have a great snapshot, first great look at our project scorecard. We can quickly establish an understanding of what is the overall status of the project, where are things going awry, what's been accomplished, what's going well, why are we doing this? And if I need to speak to somebody about the status of these and get a bit more information, I know exactly who to contact and how recently this was updated. So clearly, this can be a really powerful tool for any organization that is looking to increase the transparency and accountability of their projects, and all doing this within Google Slides for free. If you think this could be useful to your organization and would like to reach out to me for some help or have some questions, my contact information is listed in the video description, or here, and you can pause the video.